My partner is destroying our relationship because I finally achieved my dream. I have to take you back 3 years, or else this whole nightmare will just sound absurd. Back then, we were both drowning in mediocrity. We were junior draftsmen at a soul-crushing corporate architecture firm in Seattle, spending our days drawing parking lot grids and our nights drinking until 2:00 a.m. I was a creative who hadn't designed a single creative thing in years. He was exactly the same. We were two sinking ships, and there was a twisted comfort in it. But eventually, the stagnation made me sick to my stomach. I decided I didn't want to be a CAD monkey forever. I wanted my own name on a building. I registered for the grueling licensing exams and started arriving early. I spent my weekends drafting independent proposals, and through all of this brutal grinding, I made absolute sure I never neglected him. I functioned on 4 hours of sleep just to make his favorite dinner on Wednesdays. I dragged myself to his softball games every Saturday. I gave him every single ounce of my remaining energy. He used to laugh and call me a robot. I thought he admired my drive, but I was wrong. Last month, I entered an open call competition to design the new $22 million botanical conservatory in downtown Bellevue. But last Thursday, at exactly 10:14 a.m., the city council called. I won. The lead contract, a massive upfront design fee, total creative control. I was hyperventilating. I drove straight to his office. When he came down, I blurted out the news. I will never forget the way his face just emptied. He gave me a stiff hug, but his eyes looked like he was watching a car crash. That evening, we met up with his sister and her husband for dinner. He completely iced me out, stared at his wine, and left the table 3 times to take a walk. The moment we got back to our apartment, he dropped the bomb. He announced he was moving out. He claimed my ambition was toxic and he needed to find his own identity. I was hysterical. I begged him not to throw away 3 years over some weird insecurity. He just packed a duffel bag and walked out the door. For 3 days, I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Yesterday, I finally started cleaning the apartment to keep myself from going crazy. I went into our shared home office to pack up some of his scattered desk clutter. When I pulled his heavy oak drafting table away from the wall to sweep, a thick manila folder slid out from the gap. It had the Bellevue City Council official seal printed on the front. My hands were shaking as I opened it. It was a formal rejection letter, addressed to him, for the exact same botanical conservatory project. I booted up our shared desktop. I dug through the local files and found a hidden directory. It wasn't just a separate application. It was an entire structural blueprint, and it was entirely stolen. For the last 6 months, every time I fell asleep at my desk, he had been scanning my tracing paper. When he sat next to me on the couch, he was memorizing my calculations. He took my exact concept, tweaked the exterior paneling, and submitted it as his own solo genius project. The council had date-stamped his rejection letter. They mailed it to him exactly 2 days before they called to offer me the contract. He walked into the apartment 2 hours later to pick up his remaining suits. He saw me sitting in the dark office, holding his printed blueprints. He didn't scream. He didn't even try to defend himself. He just slumped against the doorframe, looking utterly defeated. He confessed that he couldn't stand watching me evolve while he stayed stuck. He thought if he could just steal this one massive victory, it would instantly put him on my level without having to do the miserable years of studying. He wanted the prestige handed to him. I asked him how he could sit there and let me sacrifice my physical health to cook and clean for him, while he was actively plotting to sabotage my career. He looked at the floor and whispered, "Because I needed to feel like I was still better than you at something." He isn't walking away because he feels suffocated by my ambition. He is walking away because every single time he looks at me, he is forced to remember that he tried to steal my life, and he wasn't even good enough to pull it off.